Marketing Edge ONTV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Bababumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. Golden Penny drew large crowds to Tafawa Balewa Square, turning the venue into a lively hub of food, music, and entertainment. As the festival unfolded, families and food lovers engaged in cooking demonstrations, tastings, games, and live performances. Meanwhile, the atmosphere grew more energetic with each activity keeping attendees fully immersed. Beyond the excitement, however, the event strengthened the brand's connection with consumers. In addition, it created a platform for direct interaction, allowing the company to gather feedback and better understand evolving food preferences. At the same time, industry observers note that such experiences are becoming essential. As a result, brands are relying more on engagement-driven events to build trust and loyalty.
The Golden Penny brand is iconic in Nigeria within food. It's good for you, it's great tasting, and it's synonymous. It's all about family emotional values. So given that, it's important that we keep bringing connection and we keep deepening our brand love. And to do that, we've got to keep pushing ourselves to come up with new ideas in terms of delighting our consumers. And over the last 2 or 3 years, we've had a number of soup festivals. And this year we thought, let's broaden it, let's make it a complete food festival, bringing to life everything in the Golden Penny food basket. And we've started here in Lagos.
At the heart of everything we do, naturally, is our consumers. We've been around the block for 65 years as an organization. Nigerians have trusted it with their nutritional needs, and we've serviced that effectively over the last 65 years. We started these activities about 2 years ago, Soup Festival, and then the responses across different parts of the country has been very impressive, and we chose to evolve it straight into a food festival where we have a wide area of what we produce, different ways of producing it, and letting consumers have that experience. So it's more of bringing our consumers together, giving them that experience, creating an experiential space for them to actually, not only in terms of the transactional relationship of buying our product, which are of course quality products, but providing an experience for them to feel their brands, to commune with their brands, and to permanently have an experience that connects them with their brand.
When you're potentially the biggest food company, the biggest provider of bulk foods, the biggest provider of FMCG foods in the country, it's important that you do something that resonates with your consumer base. That's a touch point for them, and this is one of such.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations has inducted 15 fellows and 107 associate members at its 63rd AGM in Kaduna. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Government has pledged a stronger partnership to advance strategic communication and public trust. As the ceremony held at the Brigadier General Abba Kyari Banquet Hall, the Institute reviewed the rigorous selection process. However, only 15 out of 19 applicants met the required standard, while others were either disqualified or asked to reapply. According to Dr. Andy Keme, FNIPR, Dean of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, candidates must score at least 70%. In addition, they are assessed on research depth, clarity, and practical application. At the same time, the state government moved beyond hosting. Indeed, Commissioner Ahmed Mayaki affirmed Kaduna's readiness to act as a partner in strengthening transparency and governance.
This is part of the intervention of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations to get involved in affairs of governance and nation building. We have no other country than Nigeria. I always tell people that there are no more than 3 countries on earth better than Nigeria. Because I've had the opportunity of going round, and I can say it again, that this is one of the best nations on earth. We have our issues, we have our challenges, just like other nations. But what has happened to us is that we are so good in promoting our challenges and our differences, while others are managing their own carefully, pretending that all is well. We give them the information that they use against us. And this is why NIPR is now getting involved in the aspect of nation building.
AIM1 company has graduated 30 marketing professionals at the second cohort of its marketing mentorship program in Lagos. Meanwhile, the event also produced a standout team, the Visionaries, who were crowned top players. As the demo day unfolded, participants first presented ideas under real brand pressure. Then they were assessed on creativity, strategy, audience insight, and execution. In addition, the program attracted strong interest across Africa, with applicants drawn from several countries, reflecting its growing continental reach. However, beyond competition, the experience became a hands-on learning ground. As a result, participants were pushed to think like business leaders, not just campaign creators. Furthermore, industry mentors and executives guided the process, reinforcing higher standards for marketing leadership across the region. Finally, as the Visionaries emerged victorious, the moment captured the spirit of the program. Indeed, it signaled the rise of a new generation of marketing leaders ready to take the stage.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
That was brand news. Next is branding focus after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Now, brand in focus. Mobile money services have recorded a powerful surge, with transaction values rising to $227 billion, marking a 15% increase. Meanwhile, this growth confirms the sector's sustained expansion across emerging markets. As adoption widened, users, providers, and financial institutions deepened their engagement. In addition, mobile platforms are now firmly positioned as core infrastructure within modern payment systems. Notably, interoperable transactions drove much of this growth. In other words, seamless transfers across platforms accounted for 23% of the increase, thereby making payments faster and more accessible. Consequently, users can now move funds more easily. At the same time, providers are strengthening trust and improving overall usability across digital finance ecosystems. However, a major shift is also unfolding. Rather than relying on basic transfers, consumers and businesses are increasingly using mobile wallets for payments and commerce. As a result, merchant transactions surged by 42% to reach $155 billion, overtaking other categories to become the dominant use case.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. Today, we'll be having the concluding part of our conversation with the Chief Executive Officer, Houz Creative Media, Ifeanyi Ugoaru. Join us after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Thank you for joining us on Industry Conversation. Today, we will continue the conversation with Ifeanyi Ugoaru, the Chief Executive Officer, Houz Creative Media. Thanks for staying with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about regulation. Do you think regulation, in a way, stiffens the way creativity works?
I don't want to get into trouble. I would say it does, but I think that what I would actually like, or what I would like to see is the regulators, become part of the creative process. because what we have now is that before an agency or a brand deploys a campaign, either on a TV station, or on the radio, or even on digital channels, you have to send it to ARCON, for approval or not. Sometimes ARCON, they might not understand the creative process that has gone through to the point where that creative was presented. So sometimes they don't understand it, and because they don't see some things, they just knock it down and all. So, but I feel that if the regulators, if they can join in the creative process, from the ideation to the briefing to the creation, over through the journey, they're able to advise, on things as the journey progresses, instead of just waiting till everything is done and they're just seeing the creative as it is, and they either approve or disapprove. But if they can join the process, to make the whole thing a lot more easier, so that they can feel like they are part of the journey to helping a brand either reaching their target audience, or the audience actually accessing the product that they want or the services that they want as well.
Online content moves very fast. As an individual, just you, with the contents you've been seeing online, do you think they've been carefully reviewed?
I mean, I don't know if regulators review content like for individuals, but if you're talking about what
for brands, for agencies,
yeah, definitely. I think that they like I said before, ARCON can do more. They can do more. If they can join the process, I believe that it will make it a lot more easier, because they understand. Sometimes the creative journey is very, very intense. A lot of things go into it. So you as a regulator, if you don't know the things that's gone into them getting to what they've gotten, you won't understand. You're just seeing it as black and white, and the creative journey is not like that. There's always different gray areas. There's some things that there's a text or a picture that actually you put here and put there that changes a lot of the dynamism. I don't know if you remember in December, one of the producers in Nigeria, did a movie, and there was something in the naming that the regulators, knocked, but she came out and explained why that naming was like that. And so, but imagine if the regulator had been part of the journey, they would have would have been something that could have been nicked in the bud, So yeah, that's why I believe that.
Many young people consume content online these days. Now, what should agencies think about when it comes to responsibility creating content?
Yeah, I mean, an agency and a brand, you have to be responsible. You have to, as much as you're trying to reach your audience in the spaces that they are and the language that they understand, you also have to be responsible as well. It's part of your duty. You can't, as a brand, release content that is derogatory, or that speaks to that speaks to people's insecurity. As a brand, you're responsible. You have a responsibility. So also be careful with the words that you put out there. So yes, definitely.
Earlier, you talked about artificial intelligence, and I want us to go deeper into that. First of all, do you see it as a threat or something that should be applauded?
Anybody that sees AI as a threat, they doesn't understand the essence of it. It's just like, I remember when internet became a thing as well. So a lot of people thought internet was going to be something that was going to take jobs away from people, but me and you have seen the internet has really, really improved our lives, and it has improved the way we do things. If I want to talk to you now, I just send an email, a chat, and I can be in Abuja and you're here and we're conversing, So the same thing, that's what AI is as well too. AI, any agency right now who has not built a policy around AI, then they're lagging behind, As an agency, you have to be able to find a way to make sure that you use AI to enhance your service delivery. It's very, very important.
So enhancing service delivery, making work faster, that should be the future. That's what people should see.
Even part of your creative process as well.
Now,
So, you can,
okay, but what if the threat stays around talent layoff?
I mean, like I said again, AI should not lay off talent. In fact, AI should give you an edge. If you're a skilled person, if you're a creative, AI is supposed to actually help you enhance your creative possibilities. Let me put it that way. Exactly. So it shouldn't be a threat to you at all. If you're a designer, for example, AI can help you get better designs. If you're a social media person, AI is supposed to help you see different aspects of how to engage people. If you're a production person, AI should be able to help you see how to make your production better. So it's definitely a win-win.
Great companies are built on people. So what talent mindset should companies look at?
Yeah, I mean, like I'll use ours as an example. In our agency, what we look out for is, number one, you have to be a creative person first. Number one. Number two, you have to, like they always say, talent is not everything. You have to have the right personality. We want people who are ambitious. We want people who are obsessed with learning. Who want to get better every day. I want you to come to work tomorrow, not being satisfied about what you did yesterday. So I think those are the things that agencies need to look out for. People with those kind of personalities. Then also agencies have a culture to also invest in their people as well. To make sure that someone comes into your agency at this level, and in 1 year you want to see like tremendous growth in them as well. Yes.
In an industry driven by ideas, what helps you in and keep the confidence of clients?
I mean, it's just making sure that whatever problem they come with, you're able to solve them. Like I said, brands are not so hard to please. Once you're solving their problems, you have them for forever. If a brand feels that they're getting their money's worth, always. I mean, brands are. There's a reason why you have agencies, because brands they just want to focus on what they know how to do best. The guy who makes phones just want to focus on how to make good phones. It is you as an agency that needs to now make sure that you help them take the phone to the right people that need to use the phone. So yeah, once you're able to solve the problem for the brand, I'm sure you have them forever.
For someone who encounters Houz creative media for the first time, so what style should they notice first immediately they encounter Houz creative media?
Okay, so what we do in Houz creative media is that we don't see brands as the same, even if you're in the same industry. What we do is that for every brand we encounter, we just we sit down with them, understand their story, because our entire thing is built on storytelling. In fact, that's also what we're telling the SMEs as well. We're saying that just because you're a small business, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a story. Because one of the things that we found out is that audiences or customers, they connect with your story. That's why you see people put a logo of a brand on their body. You see somebody who uses a HP laptop and they're putting a Apple sticker, at the back of their, is because there's something about the story that brand has that they are connecting with. So you need to once you sit down with you, understand your story, then from there we take it and use that to walk through whatever it is that whatever your challenges or the things that you want to achieve is. Storytelling is very key, because like they say, the people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. So the customers, they are human beings. They always want to connect to something. So if your story resonates to a customer, and they can connect to, like for example, you see something like Apple will say, whatever we do, we'd like to challenge the status quo. That's why you see a lot of young people automatically gravitate towards that brand, because when you're holding that brand, you automatically feel like as if you're challenging the status quo. So brand needs to have the ability to tell a story. Once you tell your story and your story is compelling, audiences will be attracted to it, definitely.
In an industry driven by ideas, what helps you in and keep the confidence of clients?
I mean, it's just making sure that whatever problem they come with, you're able to solve them. Like I said, brand are not so hard to please. Once you're solving their problems, you have them for forever. If a brand feels that they're getting their money's worth, they always, I mean, brands are, there's a reason why you have agencies, because brands, they just want to focus on what they know how to do best. The guy who makes phones just want to focus on how to make good phones. It is you as an agency that needs to now make sure that you help them take the phone to the right people that need to use the phone. So yeah, once you're able to solve the problem for the brand, I'm sure you have them forever.
For someone who encounters House Creative Media for the first time, so what style should they notice first immediately they encounter House Creative Media?
Okay, so what we do in House Creative Media is that we don't see brands as the same, even if you're in the same industry. What we do is that for every brand we encounter, we sit down with them, understand their story, because our entire thing is built on storytelling. In fact, that's also what we're telling the SMEs as well. We're saying that just because you're a small business, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a story. Because one of the things that we found out is that audiences or customers, they connect with your story. That's why you see people put a logo of a brand on their body. You see somebody who uses a HP laptop and they're putting a Apple sticker, at the back of their, is because there's something about the story that brand has that they are connecting with. So you need to once we sit down with you, understand your story, then from there we take it and use that to walk through whatever it is that whatever your challenges or the thing that you want to achieve is. Storytelling is very key, because like they say, if the people don't care what you know until they know how much you care. So the customers, they are human beings. They always want to connect to something. So if your story resonates to a customer, and they can connect to, like for example, you see something like Apple will say, whatever we do, we'd like to challenge the status quo. That's why you see a lot of young people automatically gravitate towards that brand, because when you're holding that brand, you automatically feel like as if you're challenging the status quo. So brand needs to have the ability to tell a story. Once you tell your story and your story is compelling, audiences will be attracted to it, definitely.
What personal experiences shaped your journey in the industry? And why are you so passionate about the job?
I mean, like I said earlier, I've always been a problem solver. So all through my journey, I started at the bottom. Okay, let me say, I don't know if you've seen if using the word bottom, but when I started right to school as a graphic designer. From there I started doing flyers in school, posters. Then I went into web development. I went to multimedia production. So I've gone through like pretty much all the stages of the creative value chain, and I gone through the point where I became a business development, sales, then to where I am today. So those things are the things that still keep me grounded, and still keep the passion burning. And also I believe that me, I'm a nationalist. I love my country. I'm a Nigerian to the bone, and I believe that the creative industry, can do so much can actually contribute more than what we're currently getting from oil at the moment. If only the government can see that, and harness that, and I believe that there's really no limitation to what we can achieve. So those are the things that keep me going, that keep the fire burning every day.
Looking at the future, what footprints would you like House Creative Media to leave on Nigeria's storytelling landscape?
I mean, it's very simple. I said earlier that brands are very, very easy to please as long as they see progress. One of the things that I and my team has been looking at is to say that, okay, in the next 5 years, You know, we have an idea of how many businesses we want to look back 5 years from now to say, okay, this business, that business, that business, we were part of their journey. You know, we're part of the people that took them from here to here. You know, so I want to be able to, I want people in the next 10, 20 years to say, oh, the future of our company changed because we met House Creative Media. The future of our products or the future of our revenue, you know, changed because we met House Creative Media. I want to be able to make sure that, you know, SMEs become profitable, because the more SMEs are profitable, the more the economy is better for it.
Thank you very much. It's been an interesting conversation. Thanks for having this with us.
Thank you for having me.
I've been speaking with the Chief Executive Officer, Houz Creative Media, Ifeanyi Ugoaru. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The conversation continues on our website, www.marketingedge.com.ng, and all our social media platforms at Marketing Edge. My name is Bababumi Agbibi.